Hey everyone, this is Laura the Raptor back with my what would be second video. Now I am doing, obviously, this one being my second horror video, a little bit, I guess, of a horror theme to the channel so far. I am a big horror fan. In the future I'll probably do some other things, other unboxings, everything like that. I like a lot of stuff, but horror is the main thing that I'm really into. So today I wanted to share with you, before I get started, this was actually inspired by a video that a channel I enjoy called The Horror of the Horror did, talking about the worst horror movie they'd ever seen, and they actually own it. I won't spoil what the movie is, it's fantastic. You can check out her channel and see for yourself because it was very funny and interesting, and it kind of made me want to watch the video even though it was terrible. But that video inspired me that I think what I'm going to share today is the 5 worst horror movies in my personal collection, movies that I have actually spent money on, purchasing, owning, watching, having. So let's get started. The first one is a sequel to a movie that wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it definitely wasn't bad for the first one. The second one, the best word I could describe it was a mess. Um, Not very memorable in its messiness either. Like, it wasn't even like so messy it was hilarious or anything. But that is Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, I actually did really enjoy his first one. I thought it was a really cool modern upgrade on Halloween, the mythos on Michael Myers. But Halloween 2, it just goes off the rails really fast. There's some good actors in this that are just wasted. It's just silly is probably the best word I can use to describe it. Messy and silly, and like the plot is very muddled. It was just, I don't know, like I watched it once, and most of the movies I own for horror movies I've watched at least a couple times. This one I couldn't even bear to do it twice. It was just forgettable. The second one on my list is another sequel. And again, it's a sequel of a movie that was also a remake. This is Quarantine 2. If you haven't seen it, it's not. It's definitely not good, which is why it's on this list. But it has nothing almost to do with the original. Like, not with Wreck, not with the first Quarantine. And I really like Wreck. I really like. I've seen the Wreck sequels from Spain, but I have only seen Quarantine and Quarantine 2. I don't know if they've done another Quarantine here, but I like Quarantine. I thought it was a really good remake of the Spanish original. I thought they, followed it closely enough, but did take some different paths with it, which was pretty cool. But Quarantine 2, really, like, the only thing that really connects it is that, it's that rabies virus. The second one actually takes place in a, I was gonna say movie terminal, in a airport terminal. Wow, couldn't think of that word. And people are stuck in the airport. The scariest thing about this movie, the first time I watched this movie, was I was home by myself. My husband was out at a work function, and I have a slight, strong fear of flying. I am not good on an airplane. I've flown a few times, not a fan of it. I like being the one in control of the vehicle, so I'm sure I'd be a lot happier if I was the one actually flying the plane. But the scariest part about this whole movie was the original takeoff sequence where nothing goes wrong, nothing scary happens. It was actually a well shot, like, airplane departure. And that gave me a bit of a panic attack, so I had to pause it for a few minutes and then come back to it. And then it was honestly not great after that. But basically, it's not even like, it's not like it's snakes in a plane where they're in the air when things are attacking them, which could have been cool. But no, the airplane gets grounded and then they're stuck in the terminal, and that's about it. They're stuck in the terminal while they're getting hunted down by bloodthirsty rabbit people. So, not great. If you like the Quarantine and Wreck movies, I mean, it's worth a quick watch. Not great. Next, and it pains me so much because like I was a person who defended this movie when they were originally doing it. I was like, you know what, let's give it a shot, give them a chance. You know, you never know. They've got a good actor playing the character. It could go well. Um, but and I went and saw it in theaters and I tried to be supportive and then I found it on a discount. I was like, sure, I add this to my collection. Kind of wish I hadn't, but the remake, another remake, Nightmare on Elm Street with what's his name? Jackie Earl Haley, who really most people probably know him from Watchmen at this point. Rooney Mara is in it. I'm pretty sure she plays Nancy, or at least the character that's supposed to be Nancy. Anyway, and even she I find goes on the record and hates every movie she does, but she has said like she hated doing this movie. I don't know. It's just like Kellen Lutz is in it. He's from Twilight. It's just not. It's not a good adaptation. Like I recently sat down and watched because I got the complete Nightmare on Elm Street collection, which has all the movies except for Freddy vs. Jason on Blu-ray. I got it on Prime Day for a really good discount. And like sitting down and rewatching all of them in like one quick go kind of thing just reminded me how much this really like. It's just not a well done remake. It tries to be like dark and gritty, and it's just it takes the Freddy mythos and really kind of tries to do something different with it and falls flat on its face. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I don't know why I still own it. Probably because I'm bad at getting rid of stuff. Now, my next one is actually one of my favorite movies in my collection, but it is by far one of the worst movies in my collection. It is a movie that is so bad. It's amazing. Again, when the first one came out years ago, I really liked the first one. I was like, Eli Roth is going to be great. And he's so far gone on to do some pretty okay stuff. But this movie is amazing. Okay, so this is Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever. Ryder Strong does show up in it for about 10 seconds. No spoilers. This movie is a comedy, like, for the most part. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, at one point, someone's dick literally falls off in their hand because of the virus. It's hilarious. Like, it's set on, like, prom night at a school, and, like, you can kind of see on the back there that, like, you can tell, like, from this one here, like, some ridiculous stuff is happening. Like, there's like strippers who get the virus and they're dancing with them. Obviously their like flesh is falling off and it's gross and it's like ridiculous body horror and it's funny and ridiculous and stupid and I think it's great. It is terrible. It is stupid. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's enjoyable. So if you want a movie that's so bad it's good, this is definitely one to find. Like I was given this by a friend who was like, for some reason you liked the first one, which I did, so here, have it. And I was like, I'm not going to say no to that. I don't even know who directed this one, because I definitely don't think it was Eli Roth for the second one. Oh, no, it was Ty West! Ty West directed this! I like Ty West. It's fun. If you like stupid body horror humor, you should watch it. It's great. And then the last one on my list that actually, and I did not include any like trauma films I have, anything like that. Like Trauma is a league of its own. We're not including that. These are like, I don't know, traumas are obviously real movies, but these are like studio movies. This one, I bought this. God, where did I buy? I bought this like years ago. This movie came out in 2007, and it's been sitting on my shelf forever. And I recently watched it for the first time, and it was bad. Like it's got Danielle Harris, it's got Robbie Amell, who's Stephen Amell's cousin, I think. Steve Byers. Like it's got some people in it. But anyway, it is called Devil's Night. And you know a movie isn't going to be great when it's also, like, it's got 15 titles on IMDb. It's also known as Left for Dead. This movie is garbage. This movie is trash. So it starts out actually not horrific. The first 10, 20 minutes of it are kind of interesting. They're well shot. Um, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm kind of into it. I was watching it, and I'm like, it looks like it's not going to be like too bad. So I was like, all right, why did I put off watching this for so long? And then it kind of felt like 20 minutes in. So the movie starts out where these guys get robbed on like the Devil's Night, which is the night before Halloween, obviously, and they chase down the guy who robbed them, and then like that's how the movie starts. So they accidentally kill the guy who robbed them. A year later, someone's killing them, and that first part with them running down the guy, and then like when they're starting to wonder, like one of the main guys starting to think, oh, something's going on, something weird's happening at our frat party, like a year later. That's all done pretty okay. And then after that, it's like the cinematographer took his camera and went home and was like, you guys suck, I hate you, and left and quit. And they got like Steve in accounting to film the rest of it on his 2007 like phone, because the production values just take a sharp nosedive. The acting all of a sudden gets way worse. Um, so I'm not sure if they filmed the first part and then refilmed the beginning later or what, when the people in it who had more acting experience. I don't know, but it's terrible. The end of it just makes no sense. It is ridiculous. It's bad. Um, and even then, like, I like, as I said, I like ridiculous. I like bad. Those are fine, but it's boring. It is so boring. Like, people are dying and you do not care. And like the effects of the deaths are terrible. And like Danielle Harris at one point, her character dies, and it's just like, oh, dead. And that's it. I'm like, you can do better. I've seen you do better. So I don't know. It was just it's bad. Like I said, the copy I have has the Devil's Night branding. It's on IMDb as Left for Dead, I think is the most common title it's under. It's got like actual actors in it, so I don't understand why. It's I don't know. It's just I don't get it. It's not good. It's short. It's only 82 minutes. And even then, like, it's only 82 minutes, and it felt like it took my whole afternoon to get through this. Like, I probably started watching it while I was having my lunch one day, and, like, on a weekend. And then it just took, like, the rest of the day to try and get through it, because it was long, but it's not. It's just boring. Anyway, it is bad. So, if you want a movie that's so bad, it's bad, this is the one I'd say. If you want a movie that's so bad, it's amazing, this is amazing. It is terrible and amazing. So that is it for the top 5 worst horror films in my movie collection. Ones that I've owned, that I have watched Save the One a couple times. It is, like I said, I like owning bad movies, but some of them are just so bad. They're bad. Let me know which movies you own in the comment that you think are terrible, either so bad they're good, or just so bad that you're like, why do I still own this? I'm always looking for more recommendations of things to add to my collection, and the good news is about these kind of movies is you can generally find them pretty quick at a thrift store for $1 or $2. Alright, so that is it. I'll be back later. Thank you very much for tuning in again.